Hello everyone, this is Group 6 and we're going to talk about building new skills for the AI era workforce. First, I'm going to highlight the main aspects or points of view regarding the issue, which is the lack of AI skills for the workforce. First of all, we have the economic barriers to training. As we know, there are a lot of low-income background families that are not able to access like advanced technologies, AI programs, um, and also to internet connection, making them not able to acquire those AI skills and miss some opportunities. Another important point is the infrastructure deficiencies, and a clear example of this um, are colleges and educational institutions because sometimes they don't have the required material, tools, and technologies to provide like AI training or um continue like technology education. Another important point is the resistance to behavioral changes. It can be hard for people to adapt to these changes, to a different workflows, to acquire new skills and stuff like that. But it's very important for them to start getting used to these AI technologies and start feeling comfortable with it. Because as we know, the situation is changing and it's gonna continue changing over time. Okay, then we have this disproportionate access to technology, and I think this is the biggest problem regarding this situation because, as we know, there are a lot of people that come from like really disadvantaged regions and areas that are not able to access like technologies at all, and they're more likely to keep behind and miss important opportunities in the future. Some consequences of not acquiring the required AI skills. Um, the first one is that instead of stopping that digital divide, it's gonna keep growing over time, and so economic inequality is gonna keep growing as well. Also, some people is gonna face unemployment because they're not gonna have the required AI skills that future jobs are gonna need. They're also gonna feel like insecure about their abilities at work. Also, people that is already employed, I think they're gonna feel like stuck or they're gonna face a lot of challenges when they have to work on different projects also because of the lack of those skills.
You. First, I'm gonna talk about who are the interest parties or stakeholders when talking about the AI enforce. So there are a lot of different sectors that right now may or right now are taking action into having into enforcing new strategies so people can use the AI properly, since the artificial intelligence is getting very important in our daily lives. So some of these groups I'm gonna talk about are affected right now for the sudden shift of the AI. So some of them are being impacted related to workforce training, or since it is reshaping the industry that they are right now. And some of these individuals, organizations, and policymakers have to be or are guiding and adapting to this new transformation. So the first group will be the workers and job seekers. So this will be passive stakeholders. So these are individuals that are mostly directed by the automation in AI employment roles. So these challenges are kind of like the lack of training access, the financial hardships, and the misinformation about upskilling. And using a citation from an article that I implemented, so this author emphasizes that the need to knowledge and include passive stakeholders in the AI conversation is very important. So some of the strategies that can be implemented for this group to use the AI properly will be to implement training programs and reskill initiatives, also having some mental health resources, transparent communication about our risk and emergency job roles, and the government and community collaboration for equitable outreach. Then the second group will be the educational institutions. So this includes schools, colleges, universities, and training facilities. These are tasked with equipping people with AI related skills. So here the challenge is that there are many individuals who are underfunded or that lack train and they're struggling with resources. So some of the recommendation for the educational institution will be to have like a curriculum redesign and faculty investment, also industry partnerships for real world experience, since there are some scenarios where it can be easy, but in the real world experience, it will need to have like a reshape so that it can be properly used. Also have inclusive formats like micro credentials, online learning too, and address tuition costs, digital access, and language barriers. Now we're gonna discuss the two next groups. So the other one will be the government and policymakers. So here are some key stakeholders in managing workforce challenges associated with the artificial intelligence. So some of these rules include policy making, funding education, and ensuring equitable training access. Some of the strategies for this group will be to have incentives for business to upskill workers, AI literacy campaigns, regulatory frameworks for ethical AI and worker protections, public and private partnerships for skill training, and localized strategies to address regional gaps. Then the other group will be the AI developers and project teams. So these groups will include all the data scientists, engineering designers, and managers. So they hold ethical responsibility for the impact of their systems. They must ensure transparency, fairness, and equity in the AI design. So the challenges for this group will be the risk of ignoring passive stakeholders, like not taking them into considerations or having the proper thinking of what they can do to use the AI properly. Also, the systems may affect people without human oversight. So some recommendations are to include passive stakeholders representation in projects in collaboration with advocacy and the society organization.
When we think of who will gain and lose from the advancement of AI in the workforce, we have to consider three groups: the younger generation, older generation, and companies. We're going to begin with the younger generation. And when I talk about the younger generation, I'm referring to individuals from the age of 11 to 25 years old. We must understand that these individuals have more exposure to technology from school, so they will be a little bit more savvy and have an easier time using AI as they enter the workforce in their later years. New college graduates entering the workforce will have this type of knowledge already embedded in their thinking process. This knowledge makes AI a relatively low learning curve for them at the workplace because they may already be able to use AI in a way that their managers may not be 100% experts in. This knowledge is also a competitive advantage for them over their older coworkers. Next up, we have our older generation. These are going to be individuals between the ages of 30 to 50 years old. These are going to be people who have a well-established careers with a routine in their mind and may be a little bit more reluctant to learn a new skill. These individuals would have a steeper learning curve when it comes to utilizing AI tools. Since they were never exposed to such tools at a younger age, they do not possess the same savviness as their younger coworkers. But in their defense, the older generation may be willing to learn how to utilize AI and slowly incorporate this new skill into their daily activities. Lastly, we have the companies that will gain the most from the integration of AI into their workforce once they have trained their current employees and hired younger workers into their companies. Because of their investment in AI in the workforce, companies will see an improvement in efficiency with tasks and goals. With the integration of AI into the workforce, companies will have employees with a diverse skill set. Not everyone will be on the same level. Companies may have someone who is very well versed in AI, and they might be leading and expanding the knowledge to coworkers who are not so well versed into AI tools. In fact, as in fact, companies are well advised to train these employees further so they in turn teach the older generation to use AI tools, thereby cross training employees as they used to prior to AI, in which employees would teach a younger employee how things are done around the company.
Okay, from my opinion, this issue can be solved in different ways. First of all, regarding the infrastructure development, I think that they can improve internet access in underserved areas. They can also provide low-cost AI devices for students, especially those from low-income families. And they can also create like a kind of community center with internet computers where people can go learn and use AI tools. Okay, now regarding education and skills development, I think that they can incorporate like AI courses so students can start learning like how to use AI tools, technologies, and also how to use it properly. And they can also incorporate like AI related topics so they can start getting those required skills that they're gonna need in the future. Okay, this issue can also be solved from community engagement. For example, they can organize like community events where people can go learn and acquire new skills by doing like hands-on activities. Also, they can provide offline learning resources like US drives or local servers so people can participate in like AI technologies without internet connection, because as we know, most of them don't have access to internet. They can also have like buses with computers and internet, so they can take them to underserved areas, to teach people how to handle like those technologies. Also regarding the global collaboration, I think they can start by implementing like free or at least low cost AI programs or materials to create like a more equitable distribution of those skills. Also, we all can start advocating for the implementation of policies that highlight like how important is like AI education. Also, I think that companies should be more inclusive by hiring people from different backgrounds, even if they don't have like an AI training to promote inclusion and diversity. They should also offer like training programs and continuous learning to their employees and make people easier like to keep growing and getting more skills through their careers so they can stay competitive in the job market.
Part, which will be question number 5. Which governmental unit, court, company, or other party will or might take action to resolve the issue? So AI impact spans across multiple sectors, like we talked about some of the groups that are mainly affected. So other sectors will be the healthcare, education, and employment. So prompting action from various stakeholders. So some governmental units taking action right now in the federal government will be the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which is proactively working with both the public and private sectors to establish federal, trustworthy, and ethical AI systems. Then in the state level, right now we're having 45 states propose AI-related legislation in 2024 and 31 states that passed the resolution or laws regarding AI, showcasing a growing So some of the state level legislative actions are some examples. We have three. One that is in the state of Colorado, they have a law requiring high-risk AI system developers to take steps to prevent algorithm discrimination. Florida, which is a state funding for AI usage in classrooms to help teachers and students. And in Indiana, formation of an AI task force to direct policies and research AI societal impact. Then on the local governments and educational institutions, we have some example like the Washington State that is funding for AI education and tech company incubation to promote innovation, and the U.S. Department of Labor collaborating with firms and educational institutions to have the proper training and upskilling initiatives. So some of the corporate and industry collaborations are the Microsoft and IBM. So these companies are partnering with government agencies to ensure the ethical application of AI. And how are they doing it? Is by hiring in workplace analytics, also in the AI developers and tech firms, responsibility for creating and implementing fair, transparent AI systems that align with governmental regulations. And finally, how the international organizations are taking actions when talking about the artificial intelligence. Is that right now the European Union and OECD are establishing international standards and promoting cross-border collaboration to regulate AI and having ethical application globally.
To conclude, we have seen the benefits of AI. Companies and industries are going to see an enhanced productivity driven innovation. They are also going to have an overall improvement in their daily activities. And some industries will be rewritten due to AI, while others become obsolete. While incorporating AI into their workforce, companies may expect to see some limitations and applications of AI to improve business processes. This is to be expected because a number of social, economic, and infrastructural barriers in the US continue to prevent many people, especially those from underserved or rural communities, from acquiring the training necessary to thrive in the new digital era. Furthermore, the age and skill gap of employees is something that companies have to weigh when pairing employees together to form production teams or consider downsizing. Addressing the skill gap is everyone's responsibility. Governments, businesses, and educational institutions must be involved in order to reduce the skill gap and improve workforce AI skills in the foreseeable future. Failure to do so may result in unemployment and slower career progressions for millions of current and future workers. By making deliberate, inclusive choices today, we can all shape a future where the benefits of AI are broadly shared by everyone and where technology becomes a driver of opportunity rather than division. And here is our references that we use to come to our conclusion.